We have the last session on environment, a very small session. For this, may I invite Rotarian Ramesh Shivanna to introduce our speaker, Mr. Chetan Solanki.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Slide, please, quickly. We are running short of a time, so we had a plan to hand over the auto in 2:30, but we have rescheduled it since our speaker has to rush quickly. Yeah, the climate change is one of the serious challenge which all of us are facing, and experts says the next disaster is going to be climate change. So, keeping this in mind, we have initiated the one project called e-autos project, which we are today handing over. Each auto, one electrical auto, we replace in this current auto rickshaws available, which is going to save almost 3 to 4 ton of carbon, and which is almost equivalent to 140 trees plantations. So, this project has been initiated in this year from our Rotary 3190. And second, we have initiated another project called Carbon Footprint Monitoring App, which is ready for launch, and it is scheduled to launch by Rotary International President, Rotarian Shekhar Mehta, on 1st of May 2022. This app is going to monitor each Rotarian's carbon footprint, which will help us to reduce our individual carbon footprint. I request all the Rotarians to download and use this app after the launch. And thirdly, in this year we initiated from Environment Committee, Environment ICGF, which is scheduled on 5th June 2022 on the occasion of World Environment Day. I request all the clubs to send your unique environment projects to showcase, and also request all Rotarians to register and participate. Today's next speaker in this environment session is an educator, researcher, and innovator who is currently on unpaid leave from IIT Bombay. He has undertaken Energy Swaraj Yatra through a solar bus for 11 years until 2030. He has been honored with the brand ambassador of Solar Energy Madhya Pradesh government. He also has been referred to as a Solar Man of India by Times of India, The Hindu, India Today. Some people also call him Solar Gandhi. He has led major solar projects at IIT Bombay. Through his solar projects, he has reached 7.5 million families, providing them a clean light. There are several awards to his credit. These awards includes IEEE Global Grand Prize of US $1 lakh, Prime Minister Innovation Award for Solar Project, first prize in Solar Chula Design Challenge by ONGC, 3 Guinness World Record, 2 Young Scientist Awards, Excellence in Skilling, Outstanding Green Activist, and many more. He has written 7 books and published over 100 research papers in reputed international journals. He has 4 US patents to his credit. And following Gandhian ideals, he has coined the word Energy Swaraj. His Energy Swaraj movement is stepping stone towards energy access. His energy sustainability and climate change mitigation. To establish Energy Swaraj globally, he has founded Energy Swaraj Foundation. During 2019, he traveled across the world covering 30 countries to spread the message of solar energy. In his ongoing Energy Swaraj Yatra, he has already traveled 5,000 kilometers, reaching over 15,000 people across 3 Indian states. The 11 years Yatra is expected to cover around 20,000 kilometers. And he is also a Rotarian from Rotary Igna, so he is from Bangalore. And here is my privilege to present Professor Chetan Singh Solanki. Welcome you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. What a pleasure it was to hear Mr. Annadurai and what a service he has delivered to the society. So let us once again thank Mr. Annadurai before I start talking. I'm a proud Rotarian of Agneya Club, and thanks to my president, Mr. Sridhar, for creating this opportunity for me to talk to all of you. And as you might have heard, I am a professor of IIT Bombay, and everybody who sits in front of a professor is a student. So I hope next 25 minutes that I'm going to talk, you're all going to behave like a good student. Would you all? Wonderful. One of the requirements of being good student is listen patiently and have a pin drop silence. Another requirement of a good student is to start answering the question that I'm going to ask. So before I start, let me ask all of you, how are you all? All fine? What a disaster. What a disaster on this planet that all Rotarians are just fine. Oh my God. You know, we are all celebrating the service to the humanity, and we should all be really happy people, isn't it? Gita says that every single act that we perform in our life, whether we want to study well, whether we want to look good, whether we want to earn well, whether we want to eat ice cream, there's only and only one purpose, that is to be happy. So I only talk to happy people. So if you want to listen to me, you have two choices. Either you're happy by choice or you're happy by force. Which one you want to choose? By choice. So let me ask once again, how are you all? Happy. Thank you so much. I'm going to discuss a very, very difficult topic with you. And I'm sure if you understand this topic correctly, you will not be able to sleep properly today. It's not clicking. It's not clicking. Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about climate change, and the most important thing is the big I there, you know, what each individual is actually doing. Before I start, let me bring to your attention that we all are the modern human beings of this planet, you know. Never ever in the history of the planet we were so advanced like we are today. We are scientifically advanced, technologically advanced, economically advanced. We can go to the moon, we can send our mission to the Mars. If there's a problem in somebody's heart, we can replace it. At the times of Ramayana and Mahabharata, only few people had that vision, like Sanjay could see beyond. Today, with all our WhatsApp video call, all of us can see beyond. So we are really advanced and very powerful animals on this planet. And mind you, I'm referring ourselves as animal, right? We are the most advanced animal ever existed on this planet. And when we are so powerful, it is important to listen to the Plato. You know, Plato was a Greek philosopher. He said, the kings are powerful people, so every king should be a philosopher, or only philosopher should become a king. And we are all powerful. The unfortunate part is we have lost touch of philosophy. We are all growing and growing and growing without knowing how much to grow, how long to grow. For example, India's GDP is increasing. If I ask somebody how much GDP should increase, 2%, 5%, 10%, 20%, nobody knows. How long GDP should increase? Another 10 years, another 20 years, another 30 years, nobody knows. So we are all like headless chicken. We are just, you know, growing and growing and growing. And therefore, let me ask my first philosophical question to all of you. Are you all ready to answer? What is the most important thing in your life? What is the most important thing in your life? You know, when I ask this question, people have a lot of things in important list. You know, for example, parents are important, job important, money important, children important, position important, satisfaction important, health important. There are so many important things. But you know what? We still forget the most important thing. You want to know what is the most important thing in your life? We are going to do a small exercise, you know. Let us all stop breathing for 60 seconds. Don't breathe for 60 seconds. You know the answer? The most important thing for all of us is air. But we forgotten that air is important, and if air is so important, have you done something in your life to preserve or protect the air? Probably not. Have you done something in your life to pollute the air? All of us have been really working very hard. So the problem of this world is GDP is growing, but the nature is degrading. Water is degrading, soil is degrading, air quality is degrading, rivers are degrading, forest is degrading. And therefore, I believe that there is something wrong in this world. Something is not correct. How it is possible that we can grow, but the very same nature that is nurturing our life is we are destroying it. You know, in Panchatantra, there is a story which says that there is a person sitting on a branch of a tree, cutting the same branch. What do you call such a person? Some kind of fool, stupid, crazy. We, the modern humans, are destroying the same nature that is nurturing our life, and therefore I believe that there is something wrong in this world. Also, my another observation is GDP is increasing. The whole purpose of GDP is to increase the prosperity. But rather than happiness, you know, tension is increasing, violence is increasing, stress is increasing, depression is increasing, suicide rates are increasing, divorce rates are increasing. So I feel that there is something wrong in this world. We should all become aware that something is actually not going correct. The question is, how come we have become like this? You know? What has driven us to state? And one of the big answer is use of energy. By the way, are you all using energy? Are you all using energy? Yes, all of us are using energy. And the whole world is play of energy. But the problem is we are playing the wrong game of energy. We are going terribly wrong in the manner we are using energy. The energy that drives our cars, the energy that drives our kitchen, that drives our lights, fans, tube factories, everything, all those energies actually going in a wrong way. And energy is important because all of us are, every activity is energy driven, whether it is a poverty, hunger, education, a lot of services that we do our home, all of energy driven. So energy is everything. But the problem is the use of energy that we do is a very, very bad. I mean, you can look at this graph. We have been using energy for the last 200 years. We started industrializing ourselves in 1850, but after 1850 we started using coal. Then we started using oil. And then 1950 we started using gas also, but look how fast we are going. The amount of energy that we consume is growing very, very fast. Today we are using coal, oil, gas, solar, wind, biomass, everything. But the problem is that the 85% energy that we consume today comes from the coal, oil and gas. 85%. And each of these are made up of carbon. Coal is carbon, petrol is carbon, diesel is carbon, LPG is carbon. And every time you burn carbon, you are responsible for emission of carbon dioxide. All of us are responsible for emission of carbon dioxide. You know, when we travel, we are emitting carbon dioxide. When you are using lights and fan, you are emitting carbon dioxide. When you are cooking, you are emitting carbon dioxide. When you are brushing your teeth, you are emitting carbon dioxide. So everything is an emission of carbon dioxide. All of us are doing it. You know what do we do with the carbon dioxide? We all simply throw carbon dioxide in the atmosphere without giving a thought. We behave like atmosphere is your father's property, right? Atmosphere is your grandfather's property. We can emit as much as carbon dioxide we can throw in the atmosphere. As a result of that, there is a huge amount of carbon dioxide that is piling in the atmosphere. Huge. For thousands of years, the amount of carbon dioxide was constant. Look at this graph for 1,000 years, but only last 100 years, how fast the carbon dioxide is growing. And by the way, carbon dioxide is not a normal gas. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. It has all these properties. Carbon dioxide is a garbage that we all throw in the atmosphere. The amount of carbon dioxide that we throw is 10 times more than the kitchen garbage that you throw. The kitchen waste is only 1 or 2 kilogram per day. The carbon dioxide is a 4 to 6 kilogram or per 400 to 60 kilogram per month per family. Every time when we throw carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it remains there for 300 years. Let us all remember this number. Once carbon dioxide goes in the atmosphere, it will remain there for how long? 300 years. This energy that we are using today, it is going to be there for 300 years. For 300 years, it is going to affect us. For 300 years, our 10 generations will get affected. Also, 1 unit of electricity that when you consume, it results in 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide. 1 unit. So if your home electricity bill is 400 units, you are responsible for 400 kilogram carbon dioxide emission every month. So there is a huge amount of carbon dioxide that we are emitting. As a result of that, the global temperature is rising. All of you have experienced that the temperature is rising? Yes or no? All Are you all listening to me? Thank you so much for confirming it. I was really doubtful. Thank you so much. So every carbon dioxide resulting in a global temperature increase. You know how much? This is right now, look at the graph, how fast it is increasing. As I'm talking to you right now, the planet's temperature is increased by about 1.1 degree centigrade or about 2 degree Fahrenheit. 1.1 degree centigrade or 2 degree Fahrenheit. Is this a big deal? 1.1 degree centigrade, 2 degree Fahrenheit. You know our body temperature is 97, 98 degree Fahrenheit. When the body temperature increases by 2 degree Fahrenheit, it becomes 100 degree. What we say, body has got the fever when it becomes 100 degree. The planet's temperature is increased by 2 degree Fahrenheit. Can we say that planet has got the fever? Oh my God, planet has got the fever. When you get fever, you take paracetamol, right? Can we give a paracetamol to our planet? No. When you get fever, you lose balance. You can't eat properly, you can't sleep properly, you can't work properly, you can't study properly. Similar to that, planet is also cannot behave properly. As a result of that, there are all kind of erratic things happening in the world, all kind of things. There are floods and floods and floods where? Everywhere on the planet. In Australia, there are floods, China floods, Japan floods, Peru, Greece. In Western Europe, France, Germany, there were floods and more than 100 people died. There were floods in Saudi Arabia, the desert there were floods. So the entire balance of the planet is lost. There are forest fires of enormous size. You all have heard of Amazon forest fires? Amazon forest fires? After that, there was forest fire in Australia, Greece, Italy, Turkey, Russia, South Korea. Everywhere the forest is getting burned. Millions of acres of forest is getting burned. Billions of animals are getting burnt alive. Does it affect you when forest is burning? You know, there is a report which says that if all the animals and insects of the planet are killed, the human life will finish in 3 months' time only. So we are actually going into a very big danger because of the temperature. Ice is melting. South Pole ice is melting, North Pole ice is melting. Enormous amount of ice is melting. Almost 40% of ice has been melted. And where is this ice going? It is going into the sea. As a result of that, the sea level is rising. Sea level is rising. All this coastal area can feel it. This is the image of Jakarta, one of the Indonesia's capital. And this city is called world's fastest sinking city. It is sinking very, very fast. Very recently, the Antarctica, one of the stations in Antarctica, which is the South Pole, the temperature that has been recorded is 38 degrees centigrade above normal. 38 degrees centigrade. Wake up to the reality. Imagine in Bangalore, temperature goes to 10 degree, 15 degree above normal, what will happen? It is 38 degrees centigrade above normal. So what I'm saying is the entire balance of the planet has been lost. And who is responsible for this loss? Who has caused this damage? Who has caused this damage? I keep asking people, you know what people say, all smart people say, who has caused the damage? You know what the smart people say? They say, humans have done it, I have not done it. Who has done it? Not humans, not we. I have done it. That's very important. Each one of you, each is responsible for this because we are emitting so much of carbon dioxide. The question is, what next? What is going to happen next if you are going to continue behave like this? The climate scientist tells us that we need to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. What is so important about 1.5 degrees centigrade? What will happen at 1.5 degrees centigrade? Will there be sudden disaster and all of us going to die? Answer is no. Don't worry, nature will not kill you so easily. Nature will not give you easy death. Like in a movie, the villain kills a hero in a slow death. Similar to that we are going to get. So the problem is, once we go there, the change in the climate will start to become irreversible. And the amount of time that is left before we touch global warming of 1.5 degrees centigrade is only 7 years and 114 days. You can all actually find out, you look at your mobile phone, download the climate clock and look at the climate clock every day. This climate clock is ticking, and as of today, I can show you the amount of time left before we touch the global warming of 1.5 degrees centigrade is only 7 years and 96 days. So we are literally counting our days out. Please wake up and realize, while we celebrate the service to humanity, let us also realize that it is important to live on this planet. And with this kind of change, we may not exist on this planet 100 years from now. We may not exist on this planet maybe 125 years from now or 150 years from now. So if you want to solve the problem, would you like to solve the problem? Would you like to solve the problem? Wonderful. The problem is that it is very difficult because it requires a drastic and immediate change. And nobody is willing to change drastically. The governments are working. There are COP meetings, there is a Paris Agreement, there is a Kyoto Protocol. All governments are working. The problem is that the CO2 is still rising. So we need a drastic and immediate change in the energy spectrum. Drastic change. And apparently nobody is willing to make a drastic change. And that is what is the problem of the world. We want to grow. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants income to grow. But when we grow income, we use energy. Energy means carbon dioxide emission. Carbon dioxide means global warming. So we are in a contradiction of the life that we cannot actually behave. And I believe that anybody who solves this contradiction should get not 1 or 2 Nobel Prizes. Somebody should get 8 to 10 Nobel Prizes. If anybody wants a Nobel Prize, solve this problem, solve this contradiction. How do we ensure growth without affecting the climate change? It's a not billion, it's $1 trillion question for every industry, for every individual, for every government. So according to me, the drastic change is we need to all switch 100% to solar energy. 100% to solar energy. By the way, any one of you using solar energy? Anyone using solar energy? Few people. By the way, how many of you are eating food every day? Eating food every day? So some people have doubt whether they eat food every day or not. My God. Are you all breathing every time? Are you all drinking water every day? This is not possible without solar energy. We cannot grow food without solar energy. We cannot breathe, we cannot drink water without solar energy. So we are all big user of solar energy, isn't it? So let me ask the question once again. How many of you are using solar energy? Yes, what a revelation in life, right? Finally you realize that you are using solar energy in big way. So we all need to switch to solar energy. But before we do that, let us follow some fundamental rules. And there are 2 fundamental rules I have written. Number 1, limit your consumption. Gandhiji said, there is only enough in the world for everyone's need, not for everyone's greed. It's not that the Gandhi was crazy person. There was no climate change at that time, but he said there is only enough we can fulfill. Why? Because size of our planet, all its resources, everything is finite. Somehow this stupid human being thinks that we can continuously grow. We can continuously increase our production. We can continuously increase our consumption. That is impossible. You can't do that. So the first important rule, if you want to survive on this planet, by the way, this is the law of survival of human life on this planet. You can write it down somewhere in your notebook. Maybe 5 generations from now, we'll read it out. I can tell you that if you really want human race to survive on this planet, you need to follow this law. Limit your consumption. Whatever you are consuming today, start limiting. Law number 2, localize your production. Whatever you are consuming, make it local. So limit your consumption and localize your production. Everything that you consume, water, food, clothes, energy. And energy is a major culprit, so therefore, when we apply this, it becomes energy storage. So limit your consumption and localize your production. And that's why I started 3-step approach to adopt to solar energy. A lot of people are doing a lot of solar energy, but the unfortunate part, it is not helping environment. People are using solar energy because of saving money. People and government are pushing energy because of saving money, not for the saving climate. So if you really want to use solar energy and if you really want to worry for the environment, follow this step. 3-step approach. Number 1, avoid the use of energy as much as possible, even if it is solar energy. I'm a professor of solar energy. I'm a brand ambassador of solar energy. But I keep telling people that the most important rule is avoid even solar energy also. Why? Because there is nothing in this world which you manufacture and does not have side effect. Nothing. Even if you are brushing your teeth, there is a side effect on the environment. if you are using solar energy, there is some side effect in the environment. So best thing is avoid the use of energy. When I started looking at my home, what can be avoided, I came across the fridge can be avoided. Fridge can be avoided. Can we live without fridge? No. You know Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna loved butter and milk like anything, you know. We have seen so many posters of Krishna. In any poster, have you seen in the background the photo of a fridge also? No. Krishna was living without refrigerator. We got spoiled only last 20-30 years that we need refrigerator, we need this, we need that. But believe me, when we use refrigerator, we cause so much damage to our own children. They are going to suffer. So in my home, there is no refrigerator, there is no geyser, there is no air conditioner, there is no microwave. You know what? I am not a poor person. I am a professor of IIT Bombay. I could have afforded it. You know the second important thing? That I am not also a sad person. I am not a dukhi person, right? Do I look like a sad person? Even more important thing is I have been married last 20 years. Till today I have not got the divorce, you know. So even if you going to live without this, you will not get the divorce. You can live happily. So avoid is the best thing. If you cannot avoid it, minimize it. Use very efficient appliances. Reduce your energy consumption by 1/3. And the last step is generate it locally. So only 1/3 energy you should use it and generate it locally. And that is what I call AMG rule. Avoid, minimize, generate. Will you all remember? A means avoid. M means minimize. And G means generate. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Remember, these are the rules for survival of human life on this planet. These are not the normal rules. So if you want to survive, follow this. And if you are not going to follow this, you will say, OMG, oh my God, solar energy is expensive, this, that, all kind of things will come. So that's what the whole idea of energy Swaraj, idea of energy independence, energy Atmanirbharta, that we all have to be energy independent if our country has to become independent. So and then only we can solve the problem of climate change. That is why I started, when I got the award of $100,000, I donated that money and created Energy Swaraj Foundation. And the whole purpose is to create a movement. So I believe that the government actions will not be sufficient. I believe that the corporate action will not be sufficient. Since each one of us are user of energy, it is important that we all of us become part of the solution and adopt to Energy Swaraj. So Energy Swaraj has to become public movement. It has to be, you should become proud person saying that I use less energy. You should have pride in saying that I do not have electricity connection. And that is the whole purpose, and I hope we'll all together start Energy Swaraj. The most interesting part is this. I have decided to leave my home for 11 years. Not because I gone crazy, professor has gone crazy, but because it is important to worry about the climate change. We are all talking about the last decade of action. So this is my home for 11 years. Last 2020, I started living, and today is the 507th day. I am living in the bus. Bus is my house. There is a bed inside. There is a kitchen inside. There is washroom inside. There is a training room inside. There is a temple inside. There is a garden inside. There is a library inside, office inside, and everything is solar power. So this is my house, and I am going to leave this in this house till 2030. So eventually I request all of you to start taking action today. Become energy literate, become aware of the problem, start reducing your consumption of everything, including energy, and let us all create a movement together. So with this note, it is important to summarize that the climate is not changing. Climate has, can you fill in the blank here? Climate has changed. Second thing is, who has caused the change? Each one of us have caused the change. I have caused the change, right? And who is going to be the solution? I am going to be the solution. So let us all start acting and working from today onwards. So with this note, thank you very much for your attention. I am going to play a small video of a dinosaur. Dinosaur once goes to the United Nations Assembly, and dinosaur makes a speech. Can you please play the video? Can you play the video, please?
Okay? You need a minute? Cool. Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. And let me tell you, and you kind of think this would be obvious, going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct? In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse? You're headed for a climate disaster, and yet every year governments spend hundreds of billions of public funds on fossil fuel subsidies. Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now. Think of all the other things you could do with that money. Around the world, people are living in poverty. Don't you think helping them would make more sense than, I don't know, paying for the demise of your entire species? Let me be real for a second. You've got a huge opportunity right now. As you rebuild your economies and bounce back from this pandemic, this is humanity's big chance. So here's my wild idea. Don't choose extinction. Save your species before it's too late. It's time for you humans to stop making excuses and start making changes. Thank you.
So don't choose extinction. Getting extinct is a bad thing. Who could be the better person than the dinosaur itself to tell us that we are actually really getting towards a disaster. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Rotary, you are doing wonderful work. I am really proud Rotarian of my club Agneyan, and I hope together we can focus our attention towards this big issue of energy and climate change, and with that we can really bring a real service to the entire humanity, because Dalai Lama says that more and more people are now realizing that existence of humanity is at stake, and only doing prayer, pranayama and meditation is not going to be enough. We need to take action. So I hope with all the Rotarians, we can all take a very strong action in the right direction, so that we can really provide a very big service to the humanity, that is a service of ensuring that human life can survive on this planet for thousands and thousands of years to come. So with this note, thank you so much. Thank you very much.